Welcome back to the Unsweetened Truth with Kristen and Pucci. On today's podcast episode, we're going to talk about auditing your life. If you're stuck in a place of, I know I could just be better, and I'm not, or stress, or anxiety, or depression, or whatever it is, and you keep living the same year over and over and over again, and you go, this is not living, this is existing. This is the podcast for you. And this is the Unsweetened Truth podcast. This podcast is for the things that people don't talk about, the lessons that push you forward, the challenges that almost take you out, and the choices that shape your life. Leadership, work, life, and everything in between. Like hanging out with your big sister and best friend, who also happens to be a boss. Let's talk, grow, and figure it out together. I have no outline for today's podcast because I think that's the opposite of the purpose of the podcast. I want to just tell a little bit about my life and my stories and why I believe auditing your life is so important. And some people say do it once a year. I think you should do it daily, but we're going to stick to maybe quarterly or 2 times a year. Whatever you think fits in best for you. If once a year works, that's fine. But auditing your life, what does that look like? Auditing your life is looking at everything and anything that comes in and comes out that you spend your time with, spend experience with, you spend your money, it's everything. You just look at it from a third party view and you go, what do I want to keep and what do I want to get rid of? Or what do I want to continue, right? And people are not doing this enough and they're choosing to stay stuck or in situations that don't make them very happy. And they deal with things. You guys use the word deal a lot. You use that word a lot. Deal. How do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? Deal to me is I'm not going to make any big choices. I don't really like it, but I'm just going to continue to stay there because I don't want to make any tough situations or choices. I don't want to make any tough decisions, so I'm just going to stay somewhere. I don't like dealing with anything, and I don't believe there's anything that you have to deal with. So let's look at our lives. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety, and years ago, I did as well. And I'm not talking about little anxiety. I'm talking about debilitating, can't leave my house, can't drive my car, scared to go anywhere, fearful of talking to people, everything. My body felt like it short circuited. And I could have in those moments, and I very much so wanted to, dealt with the anxiety. I could have just changed my entire life around my anxiety that I had at the time and just continue to live every day knowing that something could or could not make me anxious. So I just cut all these things out. I don't believe you are meant to live with anxiety. I don't believe you are meant to live with depression. I don't believe that you're meant to deal with anything. You choose your life. You can choose your thoughts. You have so much more power than you recognize, and I don't want you to just sit in anything. So when I was navigating all of this anxiety, and I'm talking about, there was days I remember I called my mom. I was in my apartment that I lived in before the house that I lived in now. And I was having multiple panic attacks a day, like the debilitating, like your body goes numb, you can't stand up. Like it was not good. I remember calling my mom crying from the top of my stairs. And I was laying down on the ground and I called her and I was bawling and I was scared to stand up. I was so scared of my own body. And that's a horrible place to be. If anybody's struggled with anything like mental health or health related, wellness related, physically, like medically, it just being scared of your own body is a really scary place to be. And I've been there quite a few times. Whether it's been my own mind or it's been my stomach or it's been, just my own food, my skin, like my body just felt like it was completely out of control. I've been there many times in my life. And that's a scary place to be. And a lot of people just deal with it. They go, this is just who I am. My body's failing me and I'm going to be here. I want to challenge you to not believe that. I want to challenge you to say that if there's something going on with your body or your mind that is not, that it is not how your body is supposed to perform. I do not believe that our minds and our bodies fail us. I simply do not. That is what I believe. You don't have to believe it. I believe it. I believe that our bodies do not fail us. Do I believe they need some extra support sometimes, whether it's because of environments or stress or whatever it may be? Absolutely. Do I think that some people can be born into situations or have some, genetic related things? Absolutely. I'm not saying that I don't believe in science or I don't believe in healthcare. I'm just simply saying that I do not believe, to the extent to which many of us do, that our bodies are failing us and we need to simply deal with it. So if you're navigating anything like that, I would ask you to audit your life. If you are someone who's crying constantly, if you're somebody who's sad constantly and you know that there's a way to be happier, I would challenge you to audit your life. If you're angry all the time, irritable, if you're not at a state of peace for a majority of your days and a majority of your life, you need to figure out how you can become more peaceful, how you can live in peace. You don't have to deal with anything. What is disrupting your peace? Let's talk about it. Auditing can look like as simply as having a notebook, notes apps on your phone, you keep track of for a month. It needs to be longer than a week because you don't always see everybody you want to see. A month. Keep track of your mood. Keep track of your anxiety, keep track of your depression, keep track of what you're eating, keep track of who you're spending your life with. Keep track of all of it. You will be shocked, or maybe not, after doing this, seeing what is directly correlated and connected to your mental health, your physical health, and all the above. You come in contact with certain types of people. You'll notice how you feel. You'll come in contact with certain types of things. You'll notice how you feel. Going to work, how do you feel? It is not normal to dread going into work and being so excited to leave. As humans, we want to have purpose, and work and meaningful work is one portion of that. You are not supposed to deal with a job that you hate, no matter the money that you're making. I've had so many conversations with leaders of organizations just being like, but I'm making so much money. It's just not worth it to leave. Are you worth it to leave? Is your family worth it to leave? Is your health worth it to leave? We all think we have this unlimited clock in time and don't recognize how much stress kills you. Being around toxic people ruins you, sets you back. Being around a toxic boss is affecting your marriage. Being around a toxic boss is affecting your relationship. Not sleeping well, not eating well, not taking care of yourself, dealing with so many things is impacting all of the people around you. It's not just impacting you. And I want you to take some accountability for that. You have more control and more power than you recognize. So after we've spent this month auditing our life, who we're spending time with, what we're eating, what we're doing, just be psycho about writing all these things down. You'll notice a theme. If you truly want change, you will notice a theme. When are you crying? What are you crying about? When are you anxious? What are you anxious about? Rarely, and I know in the midst of anxiety, you'd be like, I just feel like I don't even know what I'm anxious about. You do if you pay attention to it a bit more. You will. You're not anxious for nothing. It's a great book, by the way, Max Lucado, Anxious for Nothing. You're not anxious for nothing. It is always connected to something else. Your body is not failing you. What is it that's making you anxious? People, places, things, your job, your relationship? Do you feel like you have to walk around eggshells around your partner? That's probably causing some anxiety. That's causing you to probably feel a certain way. How do you even look? There's this trend all over social media. You think I don't know ball, right? Everyone knows this trend. And it shows pictures of people being looking outwardly incredibly healthy. And then it will show another picture of them clearly going through the trenches, going through something incredibly difficult, and how it physically impacts them. The shape of your face and the stress and your hair and your skin being broken out and you're crying and you're just puffy and you're skinny or you've gained weight or whatever it is. You can tell that you are physically going through something and emotionally going through something. You're going through something that's causing you to look a certain way. And then it will pivot to another picture that shows them glowing. Of course, what somebody has on the outside, I want to be clear, just the way you guys would never have even guessed when I was going through some of the worst times of my life, you never would have even seen it. So I don't want you to take that as the only litmus test of seeing how someone is doing, but there definitely is a correlation to how you appear on the outside is how you feel on the inside, for sure. So let's continue to audit. Now that you've done this 30-day, you're probably going to have to make some choices. You're going to have to make some tough decisions. Let's say it's your partner. You go, wow, I'm noticing I feel this certain way around my partner. That's a tough realization. Do you want to stay in denial about it? Or do you actually want to do something about it? You've got options now. Now you've addressed the root of some of these things that are happening to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to work on it? Do you want to leave the relationship? Do you want to, that's your options. You either leave, don't say anything, stay, say something and try to work it out, or pretend and deal with it. What's your option? Which one would you like to pick? That's going to be your option with everything. Maybe you find that when you don't eat breakfast and you drink coffee until noon, that's the day that you feel anxious. Well, what do we think we should do there? Probably change some of our behaviors. If we can slow down and be more intentional and thoughtful of the things that we are doing to our bodies, to ourselves, and in our lives, we would find a lot of solutions to a lot of these problems we're talking about. How are you sleeping? What's your sleep look like? I am a notorious bedtime scroller, so I'm not going to be the person to tell you don't scroll before you go to bed, because I should tell myself that. And don't scroll when you wake up. I should also tell myself that. But what's your bedtime routine look like? What do you do before you go to bed? How do you sleep? I got one of these Aura rings years ago. Love this thing. Help me understand my sleep. Sure, you can have the opinions of the cost and this and whatever. Critical in understanding my sleep, what affected my sleep. Significantly changed how I drank. Even a glass of wine at night messes up your sleep. Messes up my ability to cleanse my brain and my body and my liver and, my heart rate to lower enough to truly have restful sleep. I don't drink during the week. I rarely drink during the week now. Sometimes maybe if I go out with friends for trivia or this or that, but it is not frequent. I love my sleep. My sleep is dependent on so many things. How are you sleeping? What's potentially disrupting your sleep? Are you eating too late? Are you drinking throughout the week? What are you doing at night? Do you even like your bed? Is it comfortable? Do you have a good routine? Do you need to take a shower before bed? Take a bath before bed? Do you, do your skincare? How are you sleeping? When you wake up, are you snoozing a million times? You guys would be shocked to see how much snoozing affects your sleep. Snoozing 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 times. You're going back into REM sleep sometimes and then waking yourself up again. And then you back and wake. It's horrible. Wake up. Pick a time that's good to wake up and wake up. Maybe those are the days you don't feel the best. When you pay attention to your life and you pay attention to the things that you're doing, you'll see why you feel a certain way. Do you feel comfortable to make those changes that you're going to have to make? That's where you have to sit with yourself for a bit. Knowing that these things cause you to not have peace. Might be a friend. You may find it's a friend. Every time you go and get coffee with them, every time you go out with them, you wake up the next day and you're like, wow, I just don't feel good about myself. I've had friends like that. There's one group of friends specifically I had from college. We all went on a trip to Nashville. This was years ago. And I thought I loved these friends, and I thought these friends loved me. We did everything together all the time. Da, 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 da. And it was me and two of these other girls, and we went to Nashville. And I have never felt so bad about myself on that trip. I cried on that trip multiple times. They bullied me constantly. And it was interesting when you pull yourself out of another environment and you go somewhere else and you're in a close proximity to each other for a significant period of time, how much you can learn. But if you truly pay attention, these women bullied me. They bullied me for the last, 4+ years that we were in college together. And it didn't take me until I went to Nashville on a trip with them to go, wow, you are not very nice girls. I don't feel good being around you. I had spent so much time trying to navigate why I had this like low self-worth, why I had this and that. And I'm not saying that they caused all of that. There's a lot of that was obviously from my choices and my decisions. But being on this trip with these women, I'm like, you don't make me feel good about myself. You actually do the opposite. You make me feel very not good about myself. And then on top of it, you team up on me and then you make me feel even worse. They're not in my life anymore. It took me recognizing on that trip, these are not good people. And then once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. So when you do this audit, be careful that you won't be able to unsee what you see. And then if you don't do anything about it, you're now going to be living in denial. Now you're not honoring yourself. Now you're not honoring a better version of you that you know is available to you, and you're purposely not choosing it. Do you feel comfortable ending some of these relationships you might have to end? Do you feel comfortable doing some of these unhealthy behaviors that are impacting your health? Mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it is. Do you feel strong enough to do that? If you don't, for some reason you don't care enough about yourself and your own worth and your body. And there's a deeper thing here to be uncovered. And this is a great thing to learn about yourself. As painful as it is and as difficult as it is, there's a lot of places, guys, that I did not care about myself for a very, very long time. And I'm still a work in progress, just like everybody else. But if you choose to not live in reality, and once you've been aware of the truth and then not make new choices for yourself, that makes me sad. And I'm sure that probably makes you sad too. So let's say you do make the choices. Let's say you do start making these tough choices. You have these tough conversations with significant others and friends, and you start cutting things out of your life and whatever. I, again, want you to take another 30 days and track the changes. Maybe a simple change you make for yourself is instead of going to bed at midnight, I'm going to go to bed at 11. I'm going to go to bed at 10:30. Maybe that's just one simple change that you make. I watched a video the other day on a girl that makes one change a month. One change a month for her life. And she tracks it and sees how it impacts her mental health, her physical health, her spiritual, like it's amazing. And she does a recap at the end of the year. So this is what I did in January. This is what I did in February. This is what I did in March. And she decides at the end of the month whether or not she wants to keep it or she wants to get rid of it. I love that idea. Try that for yourself. Maybe one month I want to try to go to bed earlier. It's when you stack too much on top of each other and you do all of the changes all at once that becomes unbearable and like a burden and too much, right? I'm going to change all of my eating habits, and I'm going to change my sleeping habits, and I'm going to change my workout habits, and I'm going to change. It's too much. It's hard to sustain. Just start with one. Start with, okay, my sleep is not great. I need my sleep to be better. I'm going to do that. And then once you navigate that, you're like, wow, okay. Watch how incredible you feel when you get just enough sleep. See how incredible you feel. I know I'm a menace when I don't get enough sleep. I'm irritable. I'm evil. I'm nasty. I'm touchy. I'm short when I don't get enough sleep. I don't even physically feel good. And then, so let's say you do the same thing with a friend. And maybe you have the conversation, maybe you do not. Maybe you just need to go to a place of reflection for a month or so. Do they notice? Do they not notice? How do you feel not being around this friend? How do you feel not doing the activities that you used to do with those friends? Pay attention. Do one at a time. Do the easiest ones first, the ones that you have 100% control over. Do those ones first. Do the sleep, do the eating, do the working out. Do those things first because you have full control over them. I guarantee when you start taking better care of yourself, you will start making better choices. Absolutely. And then you will start valuing your body more. When you start caring about how you feel your body and you start having enough rest and you start building muscle at the gym, you start losing weight at the gym, you start caring about yourself so much more, and you'll be shocked to see how you create boundaries simply because you value your time and you value yourself more. You'll keep track of who you want to spend time around because you're like, no, this doesn't make me feel good. And I like the way that I feel good when I do all those things. So start first with that. That would be my big sister recommendation to you. Start with the things that you can control 100%. You don't have to start with the hard conversations or the tough things or the relationships or the people or the friends or the boyfriends and the husbands and the wives and you don't have to start with that. Start with the other things first. And let me know how that goes. So I was telling you guys about when I struggled with anxiety and things like that years and years and years ago. So I got to a point, and I imagine many of you have gotten to this point as well, that you just get sick of your own stuff. You're just like, I am so sick of living here. I don't want to be doing this anymore. And living here being like living in this feeling, right? I don't want to be dealing with this any longer. And so what I did is, and I am very notorious of this, of taking a clean, like wiping the whole slate clean all in one time. I just do one foul swoop. I finally get enough confidence and self-worth, and maybe I've slept enough for a couple days and I'm just like, all right, I'm getting rid of all of it. Because I usually know. Sometimes you're just so exhausted and wrapped up in toxicity that you just don't even have the yearning or just the oomph to be able to do it. So this was years ago. This was right before I started my business. I'd say this would have been about 7 years ago. I was working in a job, unhealthy, in a relationship, unhealthy. My house, I just had like a spending problem. I had so much stuff everywhere all the time. I wasn't taking very good care of my house. It was clean, or it was not clean. It was the opposite of clean. It was very cluttered, dirty. I was not keeping up with my chores. You can see it. You can see your environment is on the outside is what's going on the inside. Absolutely. I will die on that hill. So years and years and years ago, when I was dealing with all this stuff, I was like, you know what? No, I need to make some changes. I'm fighting back. I'm not going to just deal with this and feel this way. I need to make some changes. And if those changes don't help me, then okay, I will try to go another route. So I had broken up with this boyfriend that I was in a relationship with. I then, like a week later, quit my job. And then, I put my notice in, but then they asked me to leave, like they do in corporate. They're like, don't stay here because now you're a threat. So leave, that whole thing. You've been escorted out. So, I'm then at home for like a good couple of weeks because I think it was like 1 or 2 weeks because I had put my notice in. And so I just got to be able to like be at home during that time before I started my next job. And my mom came up. I don't even remember. I want to say she maybe stayed at my house, but she came up multiple times and we took 3 truckloads of stuff out of my house. It was clothes, it was dead plants, right? It was stuff, expired food, just cleaned things, you name it, we got it out. I'm like, I need a fresh start. And this is a really fun thing to do, and I would totally recommend this. If you only have a little bit to spend, go thrifting and do it. But if you change like your bedroom, like remember when you were like a little girl and you like wanted to move your bed from one to the other and whatever, and that was just so refreshing. It feels the exact same way as an adult. That feels the exact same way. So change your bedroom up a little bit, change your living room up a little bit, a bathroom, whatever it may be, make it fresh, make it new. I am convinced that and it was this morning because I literally just got my hair done last night. I woke up and I was excited to look at my hair this morning. Like, do you know what I mean? You buy a new product, you're excited to use a new product, you have a new outfit, you're excited to put the new outfit on. Do some things like that. And if you don't have a lot to spend, like I said, it's okay to go thrifting, or even repurpose what you currently have. And maybe you don't even know all that you currently have because you haven't spent the time to go through it and look through it. So go through your closet, go through your cupboards, go through your bathrooms, go through your food, go through everything. And we did all these like little tasks that you would never do, right? Like I used to wear all this like turquoise jewelry. I still have a lot of it. And we sat at the kitchen table and I like shined all of my rings. And I just remember sitting there and I had this big bowl of like, the cleaner or whatever. And I just sat there with a little toothbrush and I just was shining all of my rings. There's something so healing and redeeming about doing things like that for yourself. It may seem so small and so dumb and you're putting it off, but you wear these rings all the time. Like just clean your rings, whiten your teeth, clean out your fridge. You're worth doing things like that for yourself. And I could not tell you guys how much better I felt literally right once I did it, right once I did the breakup, right once I left the job, it took a while for my body to detox, like, okay, you never have to go back there again. You never have to talk to this person again. That took a little bit to catch up, but my house felt so good. I was so excited the next day. And for weeks after that, to walk downstairs and go look at my new living room. And it wasn't much. I just got a rug and moved some things around and cleaned up. I was so excited to sit in that room. You want your space to be happy and healthy and a place of peace. And if it's not, you have to figure out how to turn your home into a place of peace. And from there, I just kept doing that. I kept doing that over and over and over and over again. And I've done it multiple times since. And I really recommend doing it for you. But I can't even tell you how much better I felt just from making those couple small, well, they weren't that small. They're actually quite big decisions, like boom, boom, boom all at once. But if that's the way that take a page out of my book. If you've been putting things off for too long, just don't even give yourself enough time to talk yourself out of it. Leave the job, leave the relationship, get the stuff out of your house and restart. Choose yourself. You've been choosing other people for too long, and that's probably why you're so exhausted. You've been choosing the job, you've been choosing the people, and you've just been running around with your head cut off. Choose you. It feels so good. And you don't need a lot of stuff. You'd be surprised how much this, consumerism and buying so much stuff affects your mental health. There's clutter everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. Now, me, I love a knickknack, so I'm always going to have stuff everywhere. But if you're someone who likes a clear space, 15 minutes a day, reset your space. Invest time in yourself. Spend time on yourself. Treat yourself before you start treating other people. See how much it affects your life. So in deciding how I want to wrap up this episode, I think it's because I don't want to wrap up the episode. I think it's an ongoing episode because it's an episode for you guys. It's something that I've done with my life with auditing, but I want you to adopt it into yours. So I want you through either social media, commenting on this video, however you like to get in contact with me. I don't care. Send me a message through my website. Don't care. I want you to send me a note on how you are going to audit your life, or if you have audited your life, and what is going to be the one small change that you're going to make today and this month that you can 100% control. It doesn't rely on anybody else. It doesn't require any, difficult conversations. It just requires you choosing yourself and going, I want to be better and I want to be different and I'm sick of my own stuff. I want you guys to send me that. So that way I can hold you accountable and I can be excited and encourage you. But thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I know we will have another episode like this in the future because this is something that's so near and dear to my heart. But if you guys have any future questions, you have any other ideas, or you just want me to celebrate your audits with you, feel free to reach out. Thanks for listening to today's episode, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week.